Okay, so in today's lesson we're just going to do further factorization, okay? Now the first thing you're going to notice about the two factors here is like treating two separate factorization questions. We're going to take out 2 from the top, and there's also a z in common, so we're going to take out 2z, okay? And if we take out 2z, what we have left in common is going to be z minus 2. Then from the bottom, okay, so then from the bottom, what we have here is we're going to have take out 2. Once again, both numbers are even, so we can take out 2. We can also take out z, and what we're going to be left here with is going to be z minus 5. Then we can look at both of them and cross off what they have in common, which is the 2z. So our answer is going to be z minus 2. That's a z minus 2 divided by z minus 5. Okay, next one. Now, what we can notice here is that we have the difference of 2 squares on the bottom, okay? So in order to get the difference of 2 squares, we know that x squared minus 4 is the same thing as x squared minus 2 squared. And we know that this is x plus 2, x minus 2. Okay? So with that in mind, we're just going to fix this equation up here. So this equation will turn into x divided by, x divided by x plus 2 and x minus 2 minus 1 over x plus 2. Now, with this in mind, we compare the denominators of both of them. They both have x plus 2 in them, which means that the denominator, the bigger denominator, is the one to the left, so that means this will be the common denominator. Okay? Now, what we have to realize is that this x is unchanged because it's already over this denominator. However, the 1 needs to be changed. So in order to change this denominator, what we could do is, if we put the x minus 2 on the bottom here, then we must put an x minus 2 on top. So therefore we're going to get minus 1 times x minus 2. Therefore this answer is going to be x minus 2 all over x plus 2, x minus 2. And the answer will be minus 2 over x plus 2, x minus 2. Okay. Now, next question after that is this one here. So we'll just get a quick rub out of everything here. And we'll do the next question. The next question is 2 over a plus 4. Okay. Now keep in mind that there's a minus here. That this is minus 1 multiplied by everything here. So you can either multiply the top by minus 1 or the bottom by minus 1, whichever one you wish to choose. Okay. Now, what we're going to notice here is that we're going to have the differences of a squared minus 9 squared, and that's going to be a squared minus 9. And what that is going to be is the difference of a squared minus 3 squared, which is going to be a plus 3, a minus 3. Okay, so we're going to have 2 into a plus 4 minus 1 times a plus 2 all over a plus 3 bracket a minus 3. Now, for this specific question, the lowest common denominator is actually going to be all 3 of them put together. Okay, so it's going to be this denominator on the left multiplied with the denominator on the right, which is going to get us a plus 4 bracket a plus 3 bracket a minus 3. Now, we're going to bring up this here. We're going to multiply it by this. Now we already know that a plus 3 by a minus 3 is in fact a squared minus 9. And what we know, we also have to bring the a plus 4, and that is going to go over beside the a plus 2. So that's going to be minus 1 times a plus 2 by a plus 4. And then we're going to close the bracket here. Okay. Now we're going to multiply these out, and what do we get? We're going to get 2a squared. We're not even going to attempt to multiply out the bottom. Minus 18 minus 1 times, now we're going to multiply the two of these out by each other. We'll get a squared plus 6a plus 8. That's these two brackets here when multiplied by each other. We'll give you this. And then, still working with the numerator only, what we can get is a squared minus a squared is going to give you a squared. Minus 1 times 6 is minus 6a. And then minus 18 minus 8 is minus 26. And that is going to be all over a plus 4 by a plus 3 by a minus 3. Okay, so the next question, we're going to use the reference number to factorize a quadratic, then we can figure out what to do with the denominators. So we're going to look at 2x squared minus 3x minus 2. Now, what we can do here is we can get the reference number. The reference number is 2 by minus 2, which is going to get you minus 4. Break up the reference number into its components, which is going to be 4 and 1, minus 4 and plus 1. So we're going to get 2x squared minus 4x plus 1x minus 2. Then we're going to factorize both of these. So we're going to get 2x into x minus 2 plus 1x minus 2 plus 1x minus 2. But we also have to take out, we can also take out 1 out of the second batch, okay? So what we can do is this. We can take out 1. So plus 1 into x minus 2. So then we know it's going to be 2x plus 1 into x minus 2. Okay, so with this in mind, what we can do with this question is we can change it into this. We have the 10 here. And the 10 is going to be divided by what we just got up into position here. And then we're going to get minus 2 times x minus 2. Now let's see what they got in common. What they got in common is the x minus 2. So, given that they have the x minus 2 in common, the lowest common denominator is going to be 2x plus 1 and x minus 2. So, given that they have these two in common, what we can do now is we need to multiply the extra one, the 2x plus 1, up here. Okay? Because in effect we're changing this into the following. We're changing it into 2x plus 1. The same denominator is down here, but we need to also make sure we change the top to the same effect. Okay? So what we're going to get is 10 minus 2 times 2x plus 1. Then once we clean that up on top, that's going to be minus 4x minus 2. So we're going to get 8 minus 4x all over 8 minus 4x all over 2x plus 1 over x minus 2. Now, it isn't fully factorized because we can take 2 or even minus 2 out of the top. Okay, so what we could do here is actually we could take out 4. Let's take out minus 4 from the top. We take out minus 4. We can actually change this around to minus 4x plus 8. Let's take minus 4 out. When we take minus 4 out, you're going to get minus 4 into x minus 2. Minus 4 into x minus 2. And that's going to be divided by 2x plus 1 by x minus 2. The 2x minus 2's will cancel, and therefore your answer is going to be minus 4 over 2x plus 1. Okay, The next question we're going to do is the one to the right. It's a similar one to the one we just did. We're going to get the reference number, and then we're going to fix up we're going to get lowest common fraction, okay? Lowest common denominator. So, wrote that one out and start back up here. Okay, part 1, look at the more complicated denominator. Okay, and what we're going to get is x plus 2. And we got to sort out this denominator first before I even write down the question, okay? So, what we're going to do is we're going to get 2x squared minus 1x minus 1. The reference number happens to be the first number multiplied by the last, which is 2 times minus 1, which is minus 2. Once we get to minus 2, we break it up into its two components, which is going to be minus 2 and plus 1 respectively. Then what we can do is we can break up the minus 1x, so what we should end up getting here is 2x squared minus 2x plus 1x minus 1. So what you can see is that you actually haven't changed the problem whatsoever. Okay, next step, take out 2x, because 2x is a common factor. 2x into x minus 1. But you also know that x minus 1 must be over the other side. And what number goes in here to multiply 1 by x to give you 1x? It's going to be plus 1. Therefore, the factor we're going to have is 2x plus 1 by x minus 1. Now, with this in mind, what we're going to do now is we're going to replace this. We're going to do this question here. This question here is the one we're doing. And what we're going to do is we're going to write down x plus 2. And our answer from the last question, our answer from the reference number, is its new denominator. It goes underneath here. Now that that's done, all we have to do now is write down minus 1 into x minus 1. And as expected, they're going to have one in common. And the one they're going to have in common is this one here. Okay, so the new lowest common denominator is going to be 2x plus 1 by x minus 1. Now let's fix this one over here right now. If we were to extend this on, we could say that's 2x plus 1 divided by 2x plus 1, because the two of them can cancel each other. Okay, so what we're going to get is the following. We're going to get x plus 2 minus 1 times 2x plus 1. Let's multiply this out, and when you multiply this out, you're going to get minus 2x minus 1. So 1x minus 2x is minus 1x, plus 2 minus 1 is minus 1. And that is all going to be over 2x plus 1 into x minus 1. And there's nothing we can cross off on the top there. Okay. Next one. The next one we have involves two different factorizing. Right? We have to factorize the first part, and we're going to have to factorize the second part. So two different parts have to be factorized, right? So I'll factorize 9x squared minus 16 first. And that's going to factorize down into 3x squared minus 4 squared, which is going to end up being 3x minus 4, or sorry, 3x plus 4 into 3x minus 4. Now, the next one we had to factorize is the 6x squared minus 5x minus 4. Okay, its reference number is 6 multiplied by minus 4, which is minus 24. We're going to break minus 24 up into two factors that should make up minus 5, which would give us 8 and 3. Minus 8 plus 3. So with this in mind, what we're going to do is 6x squared. We're going to break up this 5x into plus 3x minus 8x minus 4. Then we can just factorize them. What do they have in common? They have the 3 and an x in common, which will leave it 2x plus 1. And then we're going to have minus 4 into 2x plus 1. Then finally our answer here will be 3x minus 4 into 2x plus 1. Okay, now that we've done this part, what we can do is we can now successfully rewrite our formula. Okay, so what's going to happen here is the following. We're going to go up to the top and we're going to rewrite this, and we're going to have 2 here. Now 2 is divided by what used to be this, now goes to the top like so, and then we're going to have minus 3. We're going to open this bracket up, and then we're going to realize, wait a minute, it's this part here has to go up. So there we go, minus 3 into 3x minus 4. Okay, now we're going to make a note of what they have in common. They have the 3x minus 4 and the 3x minus 4 in common. This makes the lowest common denominator. It makes the lowest common denominator 3x minus 4 into 2x plus 1 into 3x plus 4. Now, we have to figure out which one did they not have, okay? So, if we add in the extra one they didn't have, what we're going to do is this one's going to end up with 3x plus 4 on the top, and it's going to end with 1 on the bottom. Okay, so I'll just shift this one over slightly, as far as I can. And we're going to also have the 3x plus 4 there. So they both cancel each other and the fraction's actually unaffected. Okay, so that's going to be 3 into 2x plus 4. Now this one over here, what we can have is we now have an extra fraction here, and the extra fraction is going to be 2x plus 1, which means that we also have to multiply the top by 2x plus 1. So 2 of them will cancel if we wish to do that. So it's going to be minus 3 into 2x plus 1. Now, with this in mind, what's going to happen next is going to be 6x plus 8 minus 6x minus 3. And all of that is going to be divided by 3x minus 4 into 2x plus 1 into 3x plus 4. Okay, and then we're going to get 5 divided by 3x minus 4 into 2x plus 1 into 3x plus 4. Okay, not an easy question, but we got an answer in the end. Okay, next question. This question is a bit more abstract because it hasn't got proper numbers in it, more letters for the most part. Okay. So you can see the questions are starting to get a bit longer now. Okay. So this question here, what we can do is we can examine the bottom. We can take out x out of the bottom, okay? So we're going to have x into y minus x. We can then factorize this side, and we're going to end up with y into y minus x when we take out y out of the two of these. Then what's going to happen is we still have our 1. We haven't got a lowest common denominator yet, or the lowest common multiple. Okay, now when we examine both sides, y minus x is in common to both of them. Okay, so that means when you're getting the lowest common denominator, y minus x is in both of them, right? So we're going to get x in a bracket times y minus x times y. Now, in order to fix this up, this one now has an x underneath it, which means I had to put an x on top, and this one here is going to have now have a y underneath it to go with this y here, so they cancel it, right? So the answer is going to be 1y plus, I say 1y minus 1x. Okay, Now, look at the bottom. The bottom also has a y minus x in it. So it's basically the same as saying y minus x divided by x bracket y minus x bracket y. Now, this means that the two y minus x's can actually cancel each other off, and our answer is going to be 1 over x, y. Okay, and I do believe that's the last of my work for today, so hope that helped.